You're never going to guess who Tucker Carlson thinks should be America's greatest ally.
So there are a couple of different countries you might throw out there if you were looking purely through the lens of what's good for the United States, an America first perspective. The most obvious, of course, would be Russia.
Russia? Really? Make your argument, Tucker.
Russia! Why? Because it's the biggest country in the world. It's the biggest landmass in the world.
That's not a good reason. Because the biggest landmass in the world? Do you know where it's located? It's, first of all, like, 80% of its landmass is completely uninhabitable. I mean, the reason they own it is because no one else wants it. It's just ice and snow. That's one. Two, so you're going to build bases in Russia and do what? Have a forward operating base against Mongolia? Like, or Scandinavia? Like, what are your targets if you have an ally that has the biggest landmass and you're like, oh, I can now use their landmass for my bases? Or what? What are you looking to do?
And it has enormous mineral deposits, energy deposits. It's got a lot of oil and gas and gold and everything else you need to run a society.
I mean, this is true. And it would kind of be a good point, except Russia has its own interests, and they're not interested in letting other countries have their oil deposits, mineral deposits, or gold deposits. And people have tried to negotiate these things. Actually, they are the number one holder in unmined gold in the world. But the reason they don't mine it is because it's in the middle of Siberia. You can't get to it. It's incredibly difficult to get to. It's not like when there was a gold rush in the United States and people ended up in San Francisco. Like, that's not the same thing. In terms of oil, it's 8th in the world after, Venezuela and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Canada. And there's a lot easier ways to get oil. And we don't really need to negotiate with Russia to get more oil, especially since the price would be incredibly high. Like, they would want a lot from us. But I guess if you want to make Tucker's point for him, that would be a kind of a good argument.
And it also has a formidable military.
Okay, that military got beaten by Ukraine. And yes, Ukraine had a lot of help from, Western powers, but still got beaten by Ukraine. Like, they weren't able to take over Ukraine. They thought they were going to roll into Kyiv in 3 weeks. That war's been going on for 4 years. So, not really. They don't really have an impressive military. They do the same thing they've been doing for 200 years. They just throw bodies at the problem. And, they're not really able to take over more, land acquisitions like they wanted to. So, that's not true.
By far the biggest on that continent, on the European continent, and huge manufacturing capacity. So, if you needed an ally to help you in a conflict, or if you needed a country in which to stage a fight with some other country, a place to put air bases, for example, Russia would be the best, of course.
This also just ignores hundreds of years of history between the United States and Russia. You can't just discount that. You can't discount the fact that, there was, after the Bolshevik revolution in 1917, there was literally no diplomatic relations until World War II, and they were briefly united against the Nazis, but even before the war ended, everyone was planning on turning against each other, and they immediately became enemies right after World War II. You can't discount that. And you can't discount the fact that, every single president has tried to befriend Russia since the fall of the Soviet Union. Every single one. And none of them could do it. Because Russia's not interested. I don't understand where Tucker Carlson thinks he's getting his world history from. Yeah, if you look at everything in a vacuum, I guess that's true, but the world does have context. There is history that happens, right, Tucker?